It worked before. All right, so my name is Peter Adelhardt. I'm with Fresh Consulting. I'm an assistant engineer, and not unlike what Jared did, I'm kind of reflecting on my journey, having worked for an in the past, and then with systems integrators since. I wanted to talk about one key aspect that is definitely when I was a sales guy, telling to the client is build versus buy, and of course you should always buy. And so I kind of want to look at it, build versus buy in real life and what aspects go into this. So as I said, like when we look at LabVIEW and, again, I have products, there's a value proposition. When you buy, you have a faster time to market, you have tested, proven products, you have supported and worldwide available products, but they are expensive or cost a little more. Versus when you build something yourself, you usually end up with higher flexibility. It's an individual solution. When you go to high volumes, it's going to be lower cost. But of course, building something yourself, talk about hardware, it's going to be a higher risk and higher NRE, non-recurring engineering costs. And so build versus buy as a, just a phrase, what does it apply to? It applies to many aspects of LabVIEW engineers or systems engineers. So instrumentation, for instance, some low cost versus anti-DAC systems. It could be embedded platforms, so if you really love your Raspberry Pi, that may be applicable, but you may also use a compact Rio. It can be software, so you have your own sequencer, which I'm going to talk about later, which you love, or you can use test stand. Electronics, you can buy some stuff off the shelf that's industrial, or you build your own PCBs. And even fixturing, there's certain off-the-shelf parts and breadboard items, or you design your own. So depending on where you are, actually show of hands, who's in a big company here? Like big company over 500, thanks, and smaller company? All right, sort of half-half. That's very interesting because there's different challenges in those different scenarios, right? So large corporation, you may have a terrifying purchasing process. So you're like, oh my God, I can't even, know when I get this part here or this software. Also, you have availability of experts. I put it that way, question is, can you build me this? Or it could also be someone asks you, can you please use them? Because we have this team to do this development, so you can't do it yourself, kind of thing. So there's these challenges in a large corporation, whereas in a small business, and that's kind of the transition that Jared was alluding to, small budgets, and you don't have a guy for that. You may have a guy for something similar with a very individual vertical experience, and you of course have a higher pressure to deliver. So those factors, impact your decision, build versus buy. And so you would like to buy, and I has a great product for it, someone else has a great product for it. Who challenges this buy decision? And it could be leadership, very lofty goals, like, oh yeah, we're sure gonna ship hundreds of these, or it's like maybe 3. It could be finance, there's like, oh no, that's way too expensive to buy that. We have people sitting around, we should build it. It's engineers, because as Warren just brought up, we're engineers, we love to build things. So if someone tells us to buy something, and we're like, oh, really? I kind of wanted to do it. So there's a lot of these aspects that could lead to a build decision. Whether or not it's the right decision, I'm going to leave that open. And there's, from my experience, there's like 2, typical examples. One is a concrete one. We built a I2C based tester board. And so I worked with an electrical engineer on this, who was very, deep diving electrical engineer. He picked the chip, I2C chip. There was no existing LabVIEW driver. The DUT had limited, if not confusing, documentation. So the thing we actually wanted to test. And so, of course, we ended up with troubleshooting on end with not knowing whether the problem came from the DUT or the documentation or the chip or any of that. So, sounding familiar to someone?
Yeah.
Anyone? Yeah? No, lots of nodding heads. So, so that's just reflecting on that. That is what happened. And another very good example, test sequencers. Who built a sequencer in LabVIEW? Yeah, everyone else is. Is anyone using test stand here? Okay, cool, nice. Oh, sorry. So NI does sell test stand, thank you. And it's very flexible, but it introduces a different paradigm. So the goal for an integrator is usually to use something that's easy to use, that you can also can have text-driven sequences and limits that can be edited and released by a client, for instance. And so sometimes a library framework is just as powerful if you know how to own it. And as an integrator, system integrator, alliance partner, your challenge is you're competing for time, cost, and resources. And often you get unclear goals from the client, scope creep. So my lessons learned, the pragmatic approach is usually the best. And pick the tool that you're efficient with and get the work done. And your mileage may vary, like you may have chosen the wrong tool or the wrong approach, but it's not as easy an answer. And so the lessons I've learned is finding out what is the team's expertise. I wrote Golden Hammer because if someone's awesome in TestSend, don't make them write LabVIEW. Just make sure they can use what they're good with. And of course, another very important point is, what is the number of units? I'm talking about hardware, but it could be anything. What is the cost to develop something versus what is the cost of goods sold or the item? And what are your financial means? That's, again, small company, big company. Sorry, that's just my personal note. I taught TestSend when I worked for an eye, but I'm not sure I'll ever use it. I don't know, just doesn't feel right for me. For some people it does, sorry, no offense here. And for instance, NIDAC for me always works, right? So, took you by driver package, seriously, but it just, you unplug the one device, you plug in a different form factor, but it's also NIDAC and it works, and that's awesome. So, those are some of the lessons for build versus buy, and thank you.